Hey everyone, on this episode of Lifeline I'm going to talk about my med bag and what goes in it. I've had a lot of requests in the past of people asking me what do I have to carry on the range or when I'm out operating, whatever. So here's this video. This is exactly what I keep in my med bag. Just a disclaimer though, depending on what I'm doing, it's not always going to be the same. Recently I was just on a 3-month tasking and I was doing sick parade and everything out of my med bag. So it's going to be a little bit different than if I'm just doing range coverage for a day. This is my med bag. This is what I keep in it. All right, let's take a look. All right, so the med bag that I'm using here today is the CTOM's second line med bag. They're a Canadian company. This med bag is absolutely phenomenal. I've had this one for about 6 years now. I took it with me to Afghanistan. I've used it on a number of taskings. I've never had a problem with it. It's plenty big for all the stuff that I ever need. Because it's all MOLLE on the front, if I ever need to add additional pouches, I can do so on the side or on the front. So it's really versatile. I like the setup for it a lot. I'll show you what the inside looks like in just a bit so you guys get an idea of why I like this med bag so much. For when I'm working with my med bag, I'll show you guys how I kind of operate with it. I basically have some really important stuff at the easiest to get, and I go in order of my march protocol or marche. The bag opens up like a suitcase, which is really cool because it actually reduces the footprint, so you can have it open sideways like this as opposed to open up from the lid, so that you can have it right in front of you and everything's nice and close. You're not reaching over to get anything. I'll keep my med bag set up so that if it's open, I can literally pick it up and nothing will fall out, which is really important because you're probably going to be moving from patient to patient in a big situation and you don't want to lose all your crap. So if you can keep it so that everything is secured in your med bag, you'll never have to worry about losing anything. So as far as M goes, right on the outside here, easiest to get, I have stuff for massive bleeds. So I have a tourniquet and I have an Elias dressing in this pocket right here. So I don't even have to get into my med bag to get at some of those really important pieces. Alright, so from the outside working in, still on your massive bleeding section, if you open it up, I have right here basically a football that comes out. So everything in here is held together. I can actually like throw it to somebody if they needed something. It's the first pouch in the med bag that comes out, and so massive bleeds. So inside my bleeding portion, this here is actually a reflective tape, and then I just put some clear tape over that and I wrote down bleeding. So at nighttime I can actually see it. I don't need to turn on the light if I really need to in an emergency. Right there, right across in big handles. It's actually the handle itself. It says bleeding and it's reflective and it's glow in the dark, which is perfect. So you'll never miss where anything is. Opening this portion up, inside here I just have a couple of small gauze pieces. So in my massive bleeding portion of the bag here, I have a few more Elias dressings. I also have some H&H Curlex gauze for wound packing. Did the exact same thing with this. Everything in my med bag is prepped so that I don't actually have to see what I need. I can just feel it and I'm ready to go. I also have some tourniquets in here. Here's one already pre-prepped, ready to go. Everything in here. Here's my headlamp. It's not normally in my med bag. I actually wear it on my head when I'm operating during the day or at night. So the problem with the red light at night is you're not going to be able to see blood. It could be water, it could be anything. So I usually use a white light at night for trauma situations. A couple other things, triangular bandages that I keep in here. These things are probably one of the most useful things you'll have in your med bag. They can be used for pretty well everything. So that's my massive bleeding section of my med bag. From there we're going on to Airway. So again, another football type package. Everything is secured, nothing is going to fall out. Again, Airway breathing written across the top, right on the handle, so you grab exactly what you need. This is great for gross motor skills. There's no fine anything. You don't have to deal with zippers or anything like that, which is great. So just inside the lid here, I have a needle for chest decompression for any sort of tension pneumothorax. I also have a couple NPAs and lots of lube. Just inside the lid there also, I have a couple Asherman chest seals, and another chest seal. So inside here I have a BVM, some hosing, a mask, and a couple Airway adjuncts. So I have here an LMA and a King LT. I also have a couple more here, which I haven't put in my med bag yet, but those will be going in once this video is done. Another thing that I don't have in my Airway, which is handy if you're going to be working in buildings with stairwells that may be kind of tight, and you have a patient that has to go down or up some stairs. If you've ever tried to ventilate a patient going up and down stairs, you know that it is the hugest pain in the ass ever. So what I did was I took some ventilator tubing like this, and I basically set it up so that if I have a patient that's intubated, I can hook this onto the patient and then this side onto my BVM, so I can ventilate a patient from several feet away while the patient's being carried down some stairs, so I'm not in the way of the guys that are carrying the stretcher. So it's not something I carry with me at all times, but if I'm going to be working in buildings, or if I know that there's going to be stairwells and stuff like that that I have to carry a patient down, this is a great item to add, and it just sticks onto the outside of my med bag using these this Molly stuff. So that takes care of the Airway and the respiration portion of my med bag. Alright guys, so that's part one of my med bag and the contents that are inside of it. So I'm going to carry on going through my March protocol for the second part of the vid. I hope you guys like what you saw today. If you guys have any questions, make sure you comment below. If you guys have any suggestions on things that I could change for my med bag to maybe make it better, make sure you let me know, because I really like hearing things from other people as far as how I can improve my kit. Anyways, I'm Ryan, and I'm out of here.